appreciate everyone for joining us once again on tonight's webinar. We do not take it for granted at all that every weekend you join us to do this. It's such an interesting time together. The fact of it is there's so much to talk about in our polity. So much is going on right now. It makes a lot of sense to actually be able to debate these things as we've always done anyway, to debate them and to be able to educate one another, especially at a time like this when so many things are going on in the polity and everywhere is heated up. And quite a lot of our people as well are saying a lot of things. And of course, one of the reasons we're doing today's topic is, in fact, when you see very highly respected lawyers, so to say, like Barrister Ozekome and quite a few others, some have said that regarding the election of the president-elect, except the court says so, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and a few other things relating to it. Many have said it does not meet constitutional requirements, and some have said, well, it does meet constitutional requirements. And of course, people have started again by saying, like people always say, that is it all lawyers that are liars, or all liars are lawyers, because quite a lot of things are going on. With deep apologies to our speaker for tonight. But basically, these are the conversations that are going on out there. People are saying a lot of things, and of course, we've got to talk about them as well. We've got to discuss them, and we've got to be able to get enlightened, because the key thing is being enlightened ourselves. We've got to get enlightened about what really the situation is. So tonight, it is my pleasure. It's my pleasure tonight to welcome to our midst someone who is not a guest per se, but at the same time, someone who is not a guest per se, but at the same time, is also, you could also call him a guest. So we just want to appreciate the fact that he's been able to join us this evening to discuss these issues. So that's where we are right now, and we're just going to be kickstarting the conversation for tonight. Like I said, there's a lot to cover. And the topic for tonight, as many of us would have already seen, is they're just very, very simple. The topic tonight is multifaceted, but it's actually tied to the things that are happening in the polity right now. And of course, we're talking about the general elections 2023, as well as the CBN New Naira policy. They are very key legal issues regarding them, the elections, the conduct, people, especially our the group called the Obedience, have gone to town to say so many things about IREV, about Beavers, about the portal, about, and of course, a new court ruling emerged that actually was supposedly given in January 2023, that the INEC was free to transmit the results via any mode it considered fit. But people are saying, well, the INEC released the guidelines, and of course, we saw media reports that it did say that it was going to transmit the results electronically. So which one will the laws, do they actually give INEC the room to do as they please, or is the law set in stone? Or the INEC in setting the guidelines, are they bound by law to their guidelines, or the guidelines could be varied? People have spread, quite a lot of things have been said. The conduct of the election, do they meet legal requirements? Were there violations in them? And of course, going on to the CBN Naira Swap policy, of course, the CBN gave a ruling. And of course, personally, and I do remember mentioning this to our PLIDE members, that where does it stop? Does the Supreme Court have original jurisdiction over such matters? What if someone is not pleased next time the CBN tries to do something with the exchange rates? Can people take them to court? Have we not opened floodgates that will probably regret down the line? These are all the issues, and of course, it is my pleasure to welcome our special guest tonight, a former governorship candidate well, not the last elections, the penultimate elections held in Ekiti State, and he's a man of many parts. He's an hotelier, one of the fastest rising hoteliers in the business, and he's also the proprietor and senior partner of Tokpe Adebayo LLP. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to welcome here Barrister Tokpe Adebayo. You're welcome, Barrister.
Thank you for having me today.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us. Always a pleasure having you as usual, like I've said earlier. And tonight we've got a few members representing the in-house panel. We've got with us our able Secretary General, highly respected Secretary General, Comrade PLIDE Transformational. We've got our Director of Training and Leadership, who is the provost of our institute. That's PLIDE Messi, Senator Messi. And of course, we've got all the way from Dubai as well, our Assistant Secretary General, PLIDE Kenya Konde, and of course, my humble self and self, and I know we're going to be there. There are quite a few people who are not our members who have expressed interest in joining tonight because they consider the topic to be very vital, and I've said to them it's okay to join us at some point. So, Barrister, we're just going to jump into this. We've got 1 hour 45 minutes to do justice to this topic. Let me ask you, Barrister, if you're going to run us through the 2023 elections, if you were in court and I was a learned advocate, of course, you don't call us civilians, you don't call us learned. If we were in court and I was a learned advocate and I asked you this question before a judge, to your own best knowledge, based on every fact available to you, the conduct of the 2023 elections, were they significantly in line with the rules, with the guidelines, with the expectations of the Constitution, the extant laws such as the Electoral Act and even the CBN guidelines itself? Over to you, Barrister Tokpe Adebayo.
Okay, let me start by stating that I am not I'll say the chairman of INEC, so I do not have the helicopter view of what happened all over the country in the last 2 elections. Is contained in what I call subsidiary legislation of INEC. It's not part of the Electoral Act. The Electoral Act simply gives the power to make those regulations to INEC, and that power does not restrain INEC from electronic transmission of the results. That ground will not be sufficient to ground the election, because what the law requires is substantial compliance with the Electoral Act. The law does not require full compliance. Why What is the philosophy behind requirement of substantial compliance? Any document, the primary document for any election is Form EC8A. That is the form which used to record results at the polling units. Is the foundation of any electoral dispute. What you need to establish, because you add up what everybody, all the candidates score in all the polling units.
Definitely. Okay.
Are we on the same page? Somebody is, yeah. Now you add what all the candidates